Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. This taste challenge is going to be between two very cheap products. But first, we want you to pray for the people in western Louisiana, eastern Texas, along the Sabine River, right where they said it was going to hit. Sometimes it works out. That bad hurricane, which is down to 110 miles per hour, which is not weak. It was 150, they said, when it hit. So very bad. We're just getting a breeze here. We got a little rain, but we didn't get too much impact because we're so far east of the storm. But I got a lot of social media messages from people saying, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" Because they hear Louisiana and they think, the whole state. But no, I'm probably 100 miles east of where you'd have to really worry about anything. South of me, there's flooding on the highway. But I mean, we're talking about areas that are hanging out basically in almost to the Gulf. You know what I'm saying? Like very low lying areas that are marshy, and there's just a road going through the marsh. Highway, it's really no land practically. So that area gets water over the highway, a lot. So that's not even worth talking about. Kent Beer Review says, "Keep safe." Thank you. Well, like I said, I appreciate it, but I'm not really in the area where the storm's hitting. And the other storm missed us too, but it wasn't very strong. So we could feel it when it was in the Gulf. You could feel that storms were there because it was so humid. The humidity level is just like you're in a shower and there's steam. You know what I mean? When you're taking a hot shower. So that's how the air was. And you could feel the breeze. Like when the storm got to Cuba, on the edge of Cuba, you could feel, the breeze picked up. You can always tell. And it's a strange kind of wind. It's not regular wind. It's like the circular wind, But it went around us. So, below, like we're here. So it went like around. I was hoping the hurricane was not on you. Good to hear, says T. Robinson. Yes, thank you. And Drunken One is west of it. So they were worried about him in East Texas, but he's probably like me getting a minimal impact, probably getting some breezy weather, wind from a different direction, but yeah, he's not getting really any kind of impact. Good to hear. Thank you. All right, so now Johnny Neely was laughing at me last night because he was saying, "What a way to promote your channel by telling people not to watch the reviews, the taste challenges." I said, well, I was just being honest. I said it's a case of bad versus worse. So I guess this would be the bad. The Albertsons American blended whiskey. Notice it says American blended. It doesn't say Kentucky blended. It's bottled in Kentucky, but it doesn't say Kentucky blended. So that's telling you something. I don't think this is produced anymore. I think it was replaced by 75 South. I'll go wipe this bottle off, which is a brand also made for Albertsons store chain, and same blend ratio, same ABV, same no age statement, which means it's at least 4 years old. Well, I'll tell you about that in a moment. And then we'll get on with the taste challenge. Let me wipe it off. So Albertsons kept buying out other store chains. And I mean, even Albertsons isn't owned by Albertsons. They're owned by an investment company, a holding company. Well, that's so common anyway. But anyway, it's under the Albertsons umbrella. And so they just kept buying out other store chains, grocery chains, Jewel Osco, Amigos, United States Grocery, so on and so on. Super Value. But anyway, if the whiskey's called Albertsons, or the brandy is called Albertsons, or the gin or the rum is called Albertsons, how you gonna sell it at Jewel Osco? So I think they, around 3 or 4 years ago, they started to come up with these house brand names like D.W. Anders brandy and so on. And then they can sell it across all the stores chains, and it doesn't really matter. Just like you notice that Total Wine and More has all these private label names. You know it's their brand because when you go into their store, which they recently opened here this summer in the New Orleans area, they got all these rum, gin, vodka, bourbon whiskey, blended whiskey, etc. Canadian whiskey. That's, you never heard of. It's like, I never heard of this brand in a store. I never heard of it online. Yeah, and of course you never heard of it because it's only sold at Total Wine, and so it's so obvious. But I'm not going to buy those because then I'm not addressing brands people want to hear about, which is name brand products that they can buy. Even the Albertsons, I wouldn't buy something like this again because it's not relatable to most people. You know what I'm saying? They're saying, well, I can't get it. Well, I watched the video, and I would agree with that. I wouldn't watch it either. Now something like Margaritaville, rum, gold and white. Well, yeah, because a lot of stores sell Margaritaville. So yeah, I would buy that. Cheers, Ron. Great to hear you are safe, says Dr. Frosty Brew. Thank you. My prediction here is that the Albertsons is going to win. It's got a more woody, traditional whiskey aroma and taste. In other words, it smells and tastes like you would think in your mind whiskey. Like, what does whiskey smell and taste like? Similar to this, but muted. You know what I'm saying? It's not like bourbon, rich, vanilla, charred oak, the strong corn, which some people don't like. True story. Some people prefer blended over straight. I know. I'm the same way. I know what you're thinking. Why? Well, you know, some people don't like hot sauce. And you say, down in Louisiana, they do. Most people in Louisiana, I know. The garbage is passing today. Huh. I didn't put the garbage out because I thought they weren't going to pass. Oh, well, the can's not too full, but I would have preferred to put it out today. Goes to show you. So you think people in Louisiana like all that hot sauce? Most people I know don't. It's too hot. They don't want to even put mild. Like if it's mild hot sauce, you know, like hot in name only. They won't put it. Oh no. That's a myth, you know. People say Louisiana hot food. Now it might have been true 40 years ago when I went to elementary school here in the river parishes. They had all those old women cooking red beans and rice, spaghetti, meatballs, and it was fiery hot. You just say, oh, you know, you can't eat it. But then you get used to it because you got to eat. You're hungry, right, as a child. So then after a while, that's what you want. Like, you don't want to go back to anything else. It's too bland. And we have a lot of refineries around here: Marathon, DuPont, Shell, Cargill. Well, that's a food thing. But there's so many here. And so we have a lot of out-of-state people live here. Usually don't stay, but some do. But they be from Ohio or Minnesota or whatever. And I can just remember in high school that their first day or week at school, they couldn't eat the food. It's too hot. I can't take it. Oh, I never had food this hot. Oh boy. But then by the end of the school year, that's it. They're never going back. You know, they got to have that spaghetti meatballs that's just peel the paint off a building, you know. So once they get acclimated to it, then they cannot resist. Same thing with the weather. They would say, it's so hot, I can't take it. The humidity. They're used to Ohio or Indiana. But then once they get used to it, then they can't stand the cold, you know. They don't want to go back. It's too cold. So you get used to it. The JW Dance is not what I would give somebody if I told them try whiskey, because it's aberrant, meaning it doesn't taste or smell like whiskey should taste or smell. It smells and tastes like some strange, I can smell it from here. It's like the fumes. It's like some kind of weird peanut oil or nut oil. I don't know what it is. I can't even describe it. Some strange candy. I can't honestly say, because I was ranting and raving about it, but I can't honestly say it's that bad. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it isn't a bad aroma or taste, but it's just not proper. It doesn't match up. It's like, well, you might think, well, I like tomato sauce, tomato paste. Okay, me too. I like that. But let's say you bought some chocolate ice cream and it tasted and smelled like tomato paste. It would be terrible, right? Because it wouldn't add up. It wouldn't match. And this is what's the problem here. If I was going to eat some caramel, almond, pecan, walnut oil candy, sweetened with corn syrup, it might work. But to drink something like that is too strange. Now, the Heaven Hill brands, I couldn't tell one from the other in a good number of these challenges. So, but yeah, because Heaven Hill, their blended whiskeys are so, I got to keep using that word, aberrant. They don't taste right, which is probably why they try to hide the brands. You get on their website, you won't see those listed, except under product specifications. They just give you some technical details, like it's available in a liter bottle only, but they don't they don't showcase it. I can see what Sazerac used to, but they don't anymore. They show a few of their cheap products. If you get on the new Sazerac website, new configured website, which is a beautiful website, they'll talk about booths of all things. Booths gin. I saw some of that the other day. That is the cheapest doggone gin. I'm like, why are they showcasing booths? But apparently it's some historic brand. But cheap. Woo! But there it is on Sazerac website. All right. But you know what they want to talk about? They want to talk about Fireball. And Pappy Van Winkle and Cane Run Rum. Well, of course they won't talk about their better brands, and they got a lot of them. Haha, great Minnesota accent. Thank you. Some people from Minnesota came here one time when I used to work at Taco Bell in college. I worked there for 4 years, and I used to like working there, but they came in, they wanted to order some tacos. I just looked at them for a minute. I said, tacos? I never heard that pronunciation before. Tacos. I couldn't get over that. I remember that. We'll want to order some tacos. I said, woof. And there's a myth that Mexican people don't like Taco Bell. They used to have so many people coming in there speaking Spanish, and they loved Taco Bell. I mean, I'm sure they didn't think it was haute cuisine. It was something to eat while they were on lunch break at a construction job. You know, I'm sure they didn't say, "Oh man, well, let's go get some Taco Bell, man, because I love authentic Mexican food." No, I'm sure they said, "Hey man, I'm hungry. Let's take a break. You want to go to Taco Bell and get something cheap?" And they say, "Yeah, man, let's do that." And that's it. Like everyone else does. They know the situation in which they are dealing. They go to Burger King, it's Burger King. We get it. We got it. We understand it. We accept it or we reject it. We don't have to be educated on what we're eating. It's like these products here. We know it's cheap. It was $4.99 a bottle. I knew I wasn't drinking Jack Daniel's Sinatra edition. This was $6.49 a bottle. I'm pretty sure I knew I wasn't getting Canadian Club Chronicles, 42-year aged. But I've had people in the past comment on the channel like, "Do you know that's cheap?" and like giving me a lecture. I wanted to say, what are you talking about? This smells standard right here. It's like fusty, musty, old sourdough wood. You say sourdough wood. That's a bread, ding-a-ling. I know, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like old wood, old sourdough, bagel, old furniture, old, like an old house, you know? Old wood. So it smells traditional, like old Kentucky. Yeah, just like that. Let me give you this description on here. Bottled by County Line Distillers, Barton Brands, which is really Sazerac. Got two aliases and one real name. Matured in American oak. Now I like how they put that on there, because that's to make you think it's something special. When it's the law, all whiskey has to be aged. All American whiskey has to be matured in oak. But it sounds nice, you know, when people don't know any better. We don't want to hear You Are Like That Scorpio's song, Rock You Like a Hurricane. Right. I don't want to hear it either. Be well. Thank you. Oh, heck, we're on the outskirts, and I mean the far outskirts. To get a light breeze is nothing remarkable, but the humidity. Woo! Okay, there's that weird candy smell. How could I ever confuse it? It's almost even like it has orange peel in it. I think I said that about a year ago when I was doing one of these other Heaven Hill brands. Orange peel. It's almost like they made a liqueur and put it in a whiskey bottle. You see what I'm saying? It's like it doesn't smell. Now the law, I know the law is it has to smell and taste like what people generally associate with whiskey. Well, honestly, I don't think this smells or tastes like what anybody would generally associate with whiskey. It might smell and taste like what you would generally associate with an orange peel liqueur. That's what I'm nailing it down to, not that nut oil. But I mean, it's totally strange. That candy smell is off-putting to me a bit. It is to me too. Would I ever buy this again? What, are you crazy? I didn't buy it for a really discerned reason anyway. You know what I'm saying? I didn't say, oh, just want to explore the whole wide world of whiskey, man. I bought it as a novelty in a way. I can't resist these off-the-wall products. These wallflowers. Yeah, wallflowers. They sit on the shelf. No one asked them to dance. Well, how does this taste? Tastes like corn grits, which makes sense because that's what it's made from. I watched them unload the corn at that distillery. Man, yellow corn, thousands of kernels flowing by every minute. Clean water, well, Kentucky limestone water. What about the wood? What about the char, man? No wood, except for little toothpick wood, not much char. And a little alcohol burn, like rubbing alcohol. Would this product be noted for its character? No, because it is a profound lack of character. It would be noted for its $4.99 cheap price, which is why people bought it. Okay, let's not be confused. Would I recommend it? No. Would I drink it again? No. Am I going to finish it off? Yes, because I only have about one sample left. So, oh no, let me say two, huh? It's probably 2 taste challenges. Oh well, no harm done. I'm not suffering through it. It's just not enlightening. It doesn't bring anything to the table except the 80 proof. Ron, you need to do another music examination. Is it hurricane hitting me hard? No, I keep talking about that in the hangout. It's mild breeze here. Voidoids. Stay safe. Yes, Travis, Texas. Could use the rest for a disinfectant? Yeah, but it's not high enough proof for that. It wouldn't really work. It's only 80 proof. It's only 40% alcohol. I did a David Bowie examination and it got muted because of the song Fame. And I got discouraged. I said, why do these hangouts? I take a lot of effort to do the examination and it gets voided. And it's stupid. Like, why would you want to void that? You know, mute it when people would listen to it and maybe say, hey, I'll go buy the album. But no, we're going to take it down so that people don't get exposed to young Americans and then they don't buy the album and it doesn't sell. You know, it's totally wrong-headed. I could talk about Fleetwood Mac, but I'm not going to. Now let's go to this strange thing. The Van Halen thing still posted, didn't get muted, but maybe Van Halen's smarter. Maybe Warner Brothers. No, I can't say Warner Brothers is smart because the Van Halen, Fleetwood Mac is also Warner Brothers. But then it's probably the band themselves that control that. Maybe like their agency. I don't know how that works. But, you know, you listen to Van Halen, you get excited Van Halen, you buy Van Halen. I don't care. I'm not, you set me off. This stuff here, it tastes so strange. When you're a stranger, it is strange. I don't categorically hate it. Sure don't love it. I don't know why people would buy this, except that it would be cheap. But then there's a lot of cheap whiskey. You see what I'm saying? You can cruise around to the cheap whiskeys and find one that's satisfactory, I think. This wouldn't be it. Oh, what is that weird nut oil? The sherry. Cooking sherry, of all things. What else did I say? Some kind of ooh. Well, too bad for you, Mr. Dant. You just got your kicked. Mr. Dant, you were like a punk who jumped up to get beat down. But you know what's funny? I'll tell you a funny joke. 2 peanuts were walking and one was assaulted. No, but you know what's funny? The J.W. Dance Scotch, that stuff's pretty good. Actually, it's very good. It's only aged 3 years. It was $8.99 a liter. $8.99 a liter, and I love it. This was $6.49 for $7.50, and I do not love it by any stretch of the imagination. I can tolerate it. I can bear it. I can choke it down, but I don't love it. I started with a B- score on my solo review, which I posted this morning. Could that score drop? I don't see why it wouldn't. Sure ain't going to go up. You might have to change your hours on Dawn Busters because of daylight savings time. I know right now it's just like Night Busters. It's like overnight busters. But you know what? I don't really feel like changing the hours because I didn't create daylight savings time. And secondly, I like to watch the news on weekends, like at the top of the hour. And then I like to go walking when it's still kind of dark, dusk. So I can't be responsible for the government fiddling with our lives, which we know they do at an increasingly horrible level. Evan Williams' Green Label is fairly cheap and really enjoyable. There's a perfect example. Why would I pay for this? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would I buy this? Waste my time with this foolishness when I could buy Benchmark. That's straight bourbon. I could buy Canadian Hunter. That's Canadian blended whiskey. Way better than that. Way better. It's laughably better. You know what I mean? It's so big of a mismatch that it's almost scary. Like, wow, it could be that much better. Yeah, it's way better. I mean, it just goes on and on. So please do not. It's charcoal perfected. Oh, I want to try the one that's charcoal imperfect. You know what I'm saying? I want to try the charcoal imperfect, the one that wasn't treated with charcoal that's imperfect. Can you imagine that? That probably makes earthquake high gravity 12% and camo black ice taste good. Don't go too far, Tony. I'm not, Mel. You are. Cheap whiskey is kind of like a moped. They are both fun to ride until your friends catch you. Right. Overnight busters. Ha ha. Well, this is no challenge. I'm just talking now. I'm wasting my time, your time, the American people's time. It's like you sat up to watch the NBA and then it got canceled in your face because the league has contempt for you as a fan. But they're going to placate their employees who are troublemakers. You said he did it for social justice, man. That's why they didn't play. Can't you understand? It's for social justice, man. But probably it's just because they're lazy and don't want to play. And they think they're going to get paid. They probably will get paid. Probably get paid a bonus for being courageous, man. If you could understand how courageous they are, man, to not play and do your job, man, that's courage. If you could have heard the men just 2 days ago, if you could have heard LeBron, man, you're going to call him bad. But no, they're probably just lazy and don't want to play. But you got to be dedicated to the league, man, to the association, man. You're a fan. It's all about you. Wrong. It ain't about you at all. You don't count. You're just a fan. You're a stinking rotten fan. Why should they care about you? You don't count. You're just a viewer, fool. This bigger than sports. This is bigger than sports right now. But I digress. Obviously, this is not going to say CP, charcoal perfected. This is going to say CP. Look at it. Charcoal perfected. Well, it's kind of blurry. Close up. It would adjust. You know, the camera would adjust, but we don't have all day. CP, Communist Party. You say, I thought you were talking about the NBA. Communist Party, NBA. Well, we confuse these things sometimes. They get very confusing because two things that operate identically, you get the names, but let me go on. I don't want to keep wasting time talking about not basketball, actually. That's what that stands for. Not basketball, actually. You know how sometimes you want to drink straight rubbing alcohol? No, you don't ever want to do that. I wouldn't want to do it either. Make you bark, make you cry, scream, pull your teeth out. But nothing good can come of this. Nothing good can come of that. Ooh, well, you gotta admire their gall. Just to have the gall to put that on the shelf with a straight face and sell it. Gotta admire that. It's like Ash said in the 1979 movie, I admire its purity. Okay. I want to give a camo black to my friend on Christmas. Well, he must have been a very bad boy or girl. She must have been. LeBron does a great job at scaring people. He's not the brightest bulb. No, I don't think he's ever been noted for his intellect. But he sure can bounce a ball. And that's important. And like his mama said from the stands when he was in high school, that's my money. That's my money. And that's an important observation that you made. Good job, NBA. I will no longer be watching it in the future. I can barely see how people could tolerate it in the past. I used to force myself to try to watch the Pelicans, but formerly the Hornets. It was a challenge. It's such a poor product. It won't be missed. It won't be missed. Let it die. Let it die. Let it go. Let it go. A few Quaaludes should love me tomorrow. No, it's terrible. It's a horrible product. I would like to see these leagues be replaced by new, more dynamic professional basketball, baseball, pro football league. Like I have these ideas. I should run companies. I would like to see the PBA, the Patriotic Basketball Association. Now, can you imagine how popular that would be? The Patriotic Basketball Association, where they stand for the pledge. They love America. Every every conversation is about not about some imagined social injustice, and they're all imagined, you know. And so, and then you'd have fans that want to see it. You wouldn't be watching them on TV with all these empty stands. They always try to. You ever watch NBA? They try to avoid the stands, like the cameras, because it's empty, mostly empty. So the Patriotic Basketball Association. Now you say, well, a lot of these people wouldn't play for it. They say, I ain't playing for that. I'm not playing for that basketball association. They terrible. Well, then good. That would actually attract the fans, you see. They would actually be working at reverse purposes, because then you would have crowded stands. They wouldn't have piped in music. You ever watched the NBA the last 20 years? It got piped in music. Womp, womp, womp. Well, they have to do that because the game is so boring. You know what I'm saying? They have to make it seem like it's exciting. It's dreadful. I've been to so many NBA games, and it's just a dreadful experience. I'd rather watch peanut butter harden in the sun. It's horrible. Now, Major League Baseball actually was enjoyable, you know, but they're being undermined by their idiocy, I guess you could call it. And but you could have the Patriotic Baseball League. People would flock to that, where they don't tolerate troublemakers. And you say, what about all the old traditions of the major leagues? And all? Well, that would die out. But then a lot of these major league owners might jump to the new league. You see, a lot of these owners don't like all this suicide approach. So that could happen. College basketball, yeah, but you see, colleges are run by you know who, so you know how that works. But there's going to be blowback to that. You know, people are growing very weary. People are growing very weary of the hammer and sickle, I'm afraid. I'm not afraid. I'm happy to say. Even a lot of young people I talk to, they're starting to question things like, well, I thought it was all about freedom, and they're telling me to shut up and to follow the orders. I say, yeah, now you're waking up soon enough, maybe. But and then we could have the Patriotic Football League, the PFL, the PBA, Patriotic Basketball Association, and the PBL, PABL, the PBA, Patriotic Basketball Association, PBL, Patriotic Basketball League, and the PFL, Patriotic Football League, and the PHL, Patriotic Hockey League. Well, that's a great idea. I can't believe I think of all these things. I can't help it. It's a gift, y'all. Thanks for watching this video production. I'll be on later. I think I'll be on later for the Monday examination. It'll be Thursday for Monday, and it'll be another washout. Won't be worth watching, but I got to do it. I'm obsessed.